All right, I guess we're live.
This thing on?
It's on. Yeah, you see the live thing on the top left?
Oh, yep, yep.
Yeah, we're live at.
Oh, it's only 720p. Can we upgrade that to like 1080? I want to be in higher resolution. Or is that
Um,
the only option we have?
no. There. It says high definition is 720. Also can't. Oh, it says quality selection disabled while live. What?
Okay.
Let's see.
If you're watching this on your like IMAX screens, it's not gonna look amazing.
Do we want to? I don't think we should restart it. I think we just gotta go. We gotta run with it.
No, yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Lessons for next time. Okay. Cool. Okay, so if you're joining in, I guess we only have 3 people, 4 people. Wow, people are joining pretty
Oh,
rapidly.
it's skyrocketing.
Skyrocket.
We're waiting for the fifth. Okay, we got five.
If you're one of the 5 or 6 or whatever number we get to by the time I
For
finish.
every new person, we're gonna announce them.
Oh my gosh. Can we actually see the participants, Daniel? There's, but I
No, I
think
don't think
people would have
so.
to
So,
comment.
okay.
You should let
I'll
us know.
view.
Comment with where you're joining from. But if you're joining, maybe you're expecting Shane or Abby, but instead you have Shreeda and Daniel. We are members of the Master team. I believe Shane is enjoying life, and hopefully Abby is getting some sleep, being in the EU time zone right now. We are taking
I mean,
over.
it's only 9 p.m. I hope he's not sleeping
Oh,
yet.
he's probably not.
He's
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully he's having like a beer or something like that to wind down.
Or maybe he's petting sheep at a farm or something. We don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, you can do both.
You can do both, exactly. Um, but yeah, welcome to the AI Agents Happy Hour. Daniel, how does it feel to be on?
Uh, wow, it feels like so many things. I don't even know which emotion to begin with.
Sure, that's okay. But
No,
yeah, how about you
but
tell
no,
people
yeah, go go.
how about you tell people who you are? What do you do at Mastra?
Yeah, Daniel, as was said before, I'm hanging out like an hour west of Toronto in a city called Waterloo. Um, and I've been an engineer at Mostra for like a month now, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks. Time flies. It seems both like it was very recently and that I've been here for a very long time. But before that, I was at Netlify and Gatsby.
Okay, and that's how you know.
Yeah, so I've known all the folks for quite a while now.
Oh, Abby says Daniel is the goat. That's awesome. Yeah, that's why he's on the live stream. That's why I picked him to be on the live stream today with me. Um, yeah, I guess I'll talk about myself. I'm Shreeda. I joined Mastra the end of April, I believe. Been kind of working freelance for them for a bit as well. I'm a writer. Can't believe I'm one of the few writers who doesn't hate AI. Actually, I don't know. My feelings about AI are evolving, as I imagine most people's feelings are still evolving.
What is like as a writer, what is like something you that still annoys you about? Because like you use AI to like help you
I, I
write, and I think
hate
that's
that.
like pretty common.
I hate the M dash discourse because people are like, remove M dashes. It's like a giveaway that like AI has written something, but like any real writer, like most writers love the M dash. I mean, if you're an M dash hater, I don't know, you can comment why or something or come out and say it. But yeah, I
You don't
love.
have to out yourself, don't worry.
They're gonna have to pry it from my hands. I'm sorry, I love it.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think anybody, like, I had never heard of the M dash before, and I feel like it's a writer thing that people just know about. And it's like, if you're not a writer, you probably just like never noticed it, or like it's one of those like invisible things.
So true. Okay, Ward just likes Daniel. Awesome. Okay, so
I
they
appreciate it.
Obi and Ward seem to be awake right now. That's cool. Just hanging out. Okay, well, we're actually supposed to be talking about some AI news for these first few minutes. Daniel, where should we begin?
Oh, I mean, why don't we begin at home? We launched a master course today, and it's a pretty neat thing that we've put together. I don't know if you want to like share your screen and just
Yeah,
show it
let's see.
to them. It might be.
Let's see if I can do it. Oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous, but okay, let's. Can you guys see this cursor screen?
Yeah, yeah, it
Okay.
looks pretty good.
Okay, cool. So I just started like a new basic master project. I literally just went through the installation of Mastra, and now in Cursor, I'm going to ask my agent to start the Mastra course. Okay, it's asking for my email. So here we go,
So
guys.
for,
Don't spam
for
my
some
email.
context, one of the things that's neat about this, so we have, as many of you know, or all of you know, we have an MCP doc server, just to kind of help out in your IDE to make like, I don't know, your cursor windsurf like an expert with Mastra, but we've added new tools to the doc server, and the tools basically help you. Uh, yeah, we're Abby's asking to zoom in to
Oh,
just make the text a bit bigger.
is that bigger?
Yeah,
Is that good?
yeah, that's good. And
Okay.
then uh, so these tools kind of like help your IDE interact with this course that we've built. And
Yeah.
so that's what we're seeing right now, that we're
So I guess
calling Diego.
what I'll say is that the course, it's like not YouTube videos, it's not even like tutorials that you read. I think it is the first or one of the first courses that you literally just take in your code editor. So like here we're just using the cursor is using the Master MCP doc server, and we've built a course right here. So you can just chat to your agent. It's gonna go literally through the course, teach you about like what an agent is. It's asking me if I'm ready for the next step. And then you can see that I think this is a workflow, right? That we've built in the back end. Like we're going through workflow steps, but seems like if I just say I'm ready, it's telling me like this is the next course material that I should learn about. I think there are some like interactive elements as well. Like it's making sure that I've actually installed Mastra, walking me through it. Super, super cool. I believe Shane and Kenny on our team have spent a lot of time on this, so shout out to them. Pretty exciting. And then, show me how much progress I've made on the course is what I'll type. And it's super cool because you can literally just track your progress. You can click this link, and it's actually going to. I don't know if you can see my browser.
We can't see. You can only
Okay,
see
sorry.
your IDE. I
1 second.
think you have to share your other window.
Yeah. No worries. I followed that link, and I can just literally see and track my progress. Super, super cool. Like this is like a custom URL, I believe, to probably the email address that I signed up for the course with. Um, I
Yeah,
think.
and if you,
Sorry, go ahead,
I
Daniel.
was gonna say, like, if you do check it out, give us some feedback. We'd love. This is kind of like it wasn't really anything we could model this off of, so there may be some things we get wrong with it, or some things that don't work so well, or some things that you'd like to see added. So we just love to get any feedback around it,
That's,
or even like what you want to see, like lessons in there, like maybe specific lessons or courses that are missing that you'd like to learn about as well.
yes. And in fact, I think Shane, in the spirit of Shane, he would probably want us to do a giveaway to celebrate this.
He's a big giver. That's
He's a
that's
big
what
he's a big
he's known
giver.
for.
He's an
Yeah,
educator and a giver. He's anything you want him to be.
he's the Saint Nicholas of Mostra.
Exactly. But yeah, he would want us to do a giveaway. So I guess the first 5 people who, respond, I think the Master Twitter account retweeted Shane's announcement of the course. I guess the first 5 people who respond to that and tell us what they'd like to see, we'll reach out, we'll DM you, get your address, and ship you a copy of Principles of Building AI Agents, which, if you're not familiar with, is CEO Sam's book on basics of AI engineering. He actually just worked on a second edition of that book. I think it was released on Monday. He's at the AI Engineer World Fair giving out copies. So if you're there, definitely go find him and get a copy. But this is just another way to get a copy: is reply to Shane's tweet with something else you'd like to see in the course, and potentially win a copy.
Yeah,
Um,
and get them while they're last. They're flying off the shelf like hotcakes.
yes, yes. Oh, and it's worth saying that it's also available for free online at mastra.ai/book. I believe. Let me double check that.
Yeah, and we got Ward calling it a Bible, um, or we can call it the Torah, one or the other.
The Book of M is what Abu says. Yeah, cool. That's what we'll go with. But yeah, okay. So any other AI news? Daniel and I just found out that Amazon is investing $10 billion in
Yeah,
opening
with the B.
data center 100 miles out of the Raleigh Durham Triangle area. How do we feel about that, Daniel?
Honestly, I do not have big feelings one way or another about that. I just heard about this like right before we jumped on, so I haven't really been able to like take it in. But it kind of like, I don't know, not really surprising. This is
Yeah,
kind of, I think this is like what we're gonna see in the next many years. Uh, just like a lot of money being thrown at like data centers, a lot of money being thrown at AI. Kind of already seen that, so this is just kind of the trend continued.
yeah, definitely agreed. I know that Duke Energy, which is the energy provider in North Carolina and in that area, has been working with Richmond County, North Carolina, to improve the site. I believe that they will probably be the ones powering the data center. I'm a big fan of Allo Nuclear as well. I believe they're researching ways to like actually coming up with new like micro nuclear pods, something like that. I'm really not a physicist, but and they're targeting AI data centers as their target customer, which I think is really smart. A lot of AI stuff is kind of speculative, but I think it's creating good economic pressure for innovation in energy. That's
Are
about.
you, are you a lobbyist here? Are you trying to sell something right now, or
I don't know. I was just thinking. I was like thinking. Like we're gonna have so many more data centers. A lot of people get critical of the energy demands of AI. So I think it's nice.
yeah,
It's actually like a real economic incentive to innovate in, uh, energy abundance.
yeah. And I was actually talking to Tyler the other day about this also, about just kind of like energy consumption in AI, and it just kind of seems uh, I don't know. I mean, like obviously biased, but a little bit overblown, just because I think most new technology is very inefficient. And so it's like right now, AI is running very inefficiently, and you're always seeing uh, new models trying to run like more efficient. Like these companies don't want to spend as much as they have to spend on energy, and it's like the more companies that are competing against each other, they're going to have to figure out a way to run things more efficiently. So I think it's going to be like good in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. Luckily at Mostra, I don't think we have to directly worry about that, but what we do worry about is, I don't know, just making sure that people know how to get started using Mastra. So if you just join the live stream, I'm Shreeda and this is Daniel. We are, I guess, engineers and marketers at Mastra. And we were just talking about the new course that we released. I believe it's just mastra.ai/course. It's a course that you can take directly in your code editor. Definitely check it out. I think it's one of the more like innovative ways to teach people nowadays.
I'm trying to figure out how to pop some text up here, but I don't know if I can.
I think it's captions.
Captions. We're also pretty new at this. Normally
One
Shane or Abby does this.
second. I think I
Oh,
got you.
captions.
I got
Oh
you.
yeah, I got it. I got it.
Oh,
There we go. Yeah, so if you just go there, you can start the course. Check it out.
Um, cool. I think we're actually just waiting on a few guests to show up. I'm pretty excited about the lineup today. We have Leo, who is a friend of mine who actually participated in the Mastra Build hackathon. We have Rahul, who is the founder of Julius. You may also know him from some press he got a few years ago around when Twitter was having some layoffs. I think we can go into that lore in a little bit when he joins. And Tessa Barton, who is an AI and machine learning engineer, and she's also the founder of the GPU Purse. You guys are probably wondering what the hell is a GPU Purse, but again, stay tuned. In a bit,
I
we'll
had the same question, and I'm psyched about it now.
Would you get one now that you know what it is?
I'm gonna ask for one. I'm
You're
gonna put her on the
not.
spot. Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's awesome. Yeah. Daniel, do you actually go through the course yourself?
Have I gone through the course? No, I haven't.
Do you think like any new engineer who joins Mastra, this will be part of their onboarding?
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Because like one of the things like when I first started like and I think this is kind of like what you do most places or like what you should be doing is that you want to get familiar with like the thing that you're building. Like you want to get like perspective of like being the user, being like going through the steps, finding all like the paper cuts and things like that. And it's always nice to come at it with like a fresh set of eyes.
Yes.
And then you also kind of like I don't know, understand the whole story more, like feel the customers or the users' pain more, things like that. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I was just checking in with Leo to see if he's on his way. Hopefully, he'll be here soon.
I think he is here.
Oh, okay. You see him in the
Yeah, I see
Okay, bring him
a
on.
man that says, okay, let me figure out how to do this. Is this?
Okay, great. We
There we go. I was wondering because I was like, yeah, I'm sitting here, and you're like, oh, we're waiting, and I'm sending him a message, and I'm like, oh, I'm right here, feeling trapped in the ether.
so sorry about that, Leo. Like
All good.
we're new to this.
I know how that feels. I just started doing some streams not too long ago, and it is weird how complicated it is, right? Like I didn't think about all that, but yeah, got to figure it out along the way, right?
Yeah. Cool, Leo. Okay, so I don't know what the best way to introduce you is. I kind of know that you are a jack of all trades, so to speak.
Yeah. I do a lot of things, but Best Way is the founder of Build in Public University. So I'm really trying to figure out how we can focus education around building in public and kind of capturing some of these fast-moving trends and giving people like the tools to quickly be able to adapt to them and use things like Mastra to really go from like 0 to 1 in building new products because like especially as technology evolves, the easiest thing you can do is spend forever trying to figure out the right technology to use instead of actually like focusing on solving a problem. And so I really look at trying to figure out how to break things down into that smallest possible piece. And yeah, Mastra's been great for that. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
I was really excited when you joined Mastra because I was like, oh, that's really cool because love it.
Yeah.
Did
Thanks.
you?
Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh, did you build in public, university in public?
Yeah. So it's actually I've been getting it started for like the last 3 years now, I think. A lot of starts and stops. But yeah, just now kind of getting everything together and figuring out kind of the last couple pieces with it.
Sure.
And so
Yeah.
community's getting going now, and actually we're having some fun with the Bolt hackathon that's going on this month. And so actually I used the Mastra hackathon as a bit of a warm up to kind of test some ideas and like share that with the community members to show them how to do it. And so like I actually used Mastra to replace like the inner workings of like one of the community members' products that she was building out and having trouble with. So I was like, hey, here's the core functionality in Mastra. We're able to build it like nice and simply. And so I was able to use that as a demo of like,
Yeah, can you
here's how
talk
you
a
go to
little
zero.
bit? Can you talk a little bit about what you built for the hackathon? And I think you've been working on some like so many different projects with Monster since, and I believe you said there is one that you wanted to talk about today. So tell us a little bit about what you did for the hackathon, and then talk us through the project that you wanted to share today.
Yeah. So with the hackathon, as I said, I was really focused on kind of replacing the core workflow for my friend Jessica's product, which was Indie Parrot. And so the main workflow there is someone records a voice note, it gets transcribed, it gets processed and basically turned into a newsletter. So you can have someone go from like a voice memo to a newsletter without having to worry about that process. And so for the hackathon, I basically just kind of broke down the steps into kind of, the transcription of it, kind of the breaking out of the key topics. Then I actually added in a step that can like scan a client's website. And so like if you don't have a scan, it'll go get the markdown for the page and bring that back in. And then take kind of the core idea and then the brand voice that got extracted from the website and turn that into a newsletter. And so you kind of have each of those steps, that work together that in kind of that.
Did you work on that before or after we had the major workflows updates?
Right in the middle. And so I was trying to figure out the new workflows as they were kind of being updated. So the workflow part of it gave me a little trouble at the time, but the main flow was really what mattered for it. And so I didn't quite get like a nice demo of it for the hackathon, but at least I got the core functionality, which let's face it, when building products, that's the part that matters, right? So I'd much rather have the functionality and not the cool demo than the other way around.
For sure.
Oh, we got a question from Ward.
Oh.
Are you joining the $1 million Bolt New Hackathon?
Yes, I am actually in that one. And you can see some of the work I've been doing for that. But my main entry for that is a time machine. And I will talk about that maybe here in a moment.
Sure. Yeah. What was the project that you did want to talk about today, Leo?
Well, yeah. So honestly, it's kind of related to the whole time machine. And really like
time machine, I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't
I know, and this has been the problem.
We
for
had
5
this
years,
conversation
right?
already.
I have had this conversation a lot because this has been something I've been kind of working on for the past 5 years, and what I realized is basically we don't do a good job of capturing the concept of time in computers, right? On the internet, all time is flat. And so what I've been looking at is how we can actually train AIs that actually like capture the element of time by collecting data alongside individuals that basically act as a growing context that you can use kind of alongside the rapid evolution of AI models. So what you do is you actually balance, like you've got one side, which is a growing context and kind of getting more and more stable over time as the models start developing faster and faster and faster. And so like anytime you're building a system, as an engineer, you don't want a system that's changing all the time because that is exhausting to keep up with. And anyone who's been an engineer in AI for longer than about a week at this point probably is like completely worn out because it's always changing.
Do you have like a demo or something to show us to kind of like ground us visually? Or I feel like I'm a very like visual person, so I'd love to like see something, even if it's like code that you can walk through. Like I think that could be fun.
So the hard part is actually that like I don't have necessarily the code for it because it's something I have to collect over time, but I do have an experiment that I'm doing. And so I started a new paid newsletter today. And as an experiment, what I'm doing is basically I'm collecting micropayments to help out a friend of mine who is kind of struggling to pay some bills. And so what this is this actually acts as kind of a randomization, basically at like the launch of a coin in crypto. you have everybody kind of buy at the same price, but that doesn't actually capture the state of the economy at the time the coin was launched. And so what you want to do is at the beginning that a coin was launched, you actually want to capture a bunch of randomized data that you can use to kind of anchor it to reality at the time of launch. Because then, as it turns out, you can do all sorts of really cool math stuff, especially with AI, which is what I've been working on. And I actually walk through it in the first post of the newsletter. But
Is this
yeah,
something that you're using Mastra for?
I'm getting ready to use Mastra to start basically building out the systems that as the data starts coming in, I can use to kind of process those. So as I learn it, like one of the workflows I'm building with Mastra actually is a way to analyze someone's Twitter archive and get the entropy data from the Twitter archive. So like if you've posted a bunch of stuff on Twitter, you can actually use that to kind of see over time, like how much growth you have in terms of like breadth and depth of topics and like relationships. And so there's all of this like really cool detailed data you can end up deriving from kind of these like flat databases if you can start anchoring them in different timelines. But you have to kind of like split those timelines out. So what you do is basically you give individuals this growing context, and then you can like, it doesn't matter which AI system is kind of working with the context down the line, you'll basically be able to use the same context for all models. And so it really like solves the whole like super rapid innovation thing, because as it turns out, there's kind of like limits of how fast you can move because of the growing amount of complexity. Like as change increases, you can't tell what's actually valuable. And again, in AI, we kind of feel that every day. So this should hopefully bring a good bit of stability to kind of the AI ecosystem and let us all like start anchoring in some things that don't need to change so fast. So we can focus on creating real value as opposed to just spending all of that time keeping up with the latest tech. As much fun as that can be, because I know it is fun for nerds. And I'm sure like a lot of you, I've been.
Yeah, some people like learning something new every week.
That's me. I am addicted to learning, and I will fully admit that.
You can do that, so the rest of us don't have to, is what you're saying.
Well, right. That's what I've been trying to focus on, and really, and that's what the university is for, right? It's really about like being able to kind of filter through the noise and kind of constantly be able to update the knowledge base of like what's actually working, what's not. And so working together to really share that data, as opposed to everybody kind of working on individual silos and like all building kind of the same thing over and over, but like not very well because, it's all moving so quickly. So this basically gives us like an open source way to really start building out entire ecosystems as opposed to just like individual projects. So getting excited to share some of the stuff coming up with that soon.
Awesome. And it looks like we got a shout out from Abby. What was your hackathon submission?
So the hackathon submission was the Indie Parrot workflow. So that was the one where I was making the newsletter from the transcripts. So that was as I said, it wasn't quite the visual demo that I was hoping to maybe have by the end, but the workflow worked, and that was what mattered to me. So
do you have that? Do you have a demo to that somewhere? I don't know if we can.
I don't like. I mean, it's not a terribly exciting.
That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Leah, I'm going to. I think I have your Twitter that I can blast out to people so they can follow along with your work.
Yeah, awesome.
I have to admit, I didn't fully. I think the whole, time machine newsletter crypto thing. It's a lot. It's a lot of concepts in one thing.
I do have the link to that if you want to see it, and it outlines it a lot more clearly.
Yeah, I think maybe people can find you on Twitter if they want to follow up.
Okay.
Ask some questions about it. But,
okay, yeah, perfect. I will be there.
Thanks for joining us. And I hope to see you in other future Master Hackathons that we do.
Oh, absolutely. I love hackathons, and I think it's a great time to teach people how to build cool products. So, we'll definitely stay in touch, and let me know when the next one is, because definitely.
And it was nice to meet you too.
Bye, Leo. Thoughts or reactions, Daniel?
I'm always like, it's always just really interesting to hear what people are doing, just because it's always so vastly different. And when you're kind of like in the headspace of like building the framework, you're not really like necessarily thinking about like all these different examples. So it's like when people come up with like, I don't
Crazy,
know,
crazy
yeah, like just
equation.
like
Yeah.
stuff that like I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't think like that. So it's always like really refreshing
That's
when
actually a
people do.
good segue. We
Yeah,
have
I planned that ahead of time. Actually, I have this written
we have
down.
Rahul, a true entrepreneur, joining the live stream. It's nice to meet you. I've only chatted with him a bit on Twitter, and I think I have to admit, like many people, he first came on my radar after his infamous performance art outside the Twitter headquarters. Yeah, so Rahul, how's it going? Welcome.
Thank you for having me. And it's good to be here. It's going well. Excited to chat with folks today.
Are you at the AI Engineers World Fair right now?
I am at our Julius headquarters in San
Oh,
Francisco.
nice, amazing. Yeah, yeah. Daniel, I actually
I
told
feel like
Daniel.
you gotta like give some people some more context here. You can't just drop it with like, oh, the infamous prank and then walk away from that. Like these people want to know.
Oh, I've told the story a bunch of times. I'll let you guys tell the story.
Yeah, sure. I think Rahul and his friend Daniel were
Not
standing
me,
at the
another
right.
Daniel.
Yeah, yeah, another Daniel. Just to be very clear, different Daniel. Growing Daniel, in fact. Were at the right place at the right time. I think when Twitter was having like big layoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rahul. It's been a few years, and I believe you were there with your Michelle Obama book and desk supplies and the press were right there and they asked like who are you, what was it like to get laid off, and I believe you went by a different name at that time. It was a good experiment in how you can just easily manipulate the news, I suppose. And then Elon hired you briefly or something, I think. I don't remember the exact details.
Yeah, Elon didn't hire me, but I did get to meet him a couple of times. He's pretty cool, and yeah, it was a good social engineering prank.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, anyway, okay. So,
This is what it was, right? That's you on the left there.
Yeah, that's me.
yeah, that's
I
it.
had long hair back then.
Yeah. But okay, let's talk about Julia. So Rahul, I know you're from Singapore, right? And you immigrated here. You participated in YC, I think, in 2022. You're the founder of Julius. Why don't you tell people a little bit about what Julius is?
Julius is an AI data analyst. People have a lot of data, and they have to make data-informed decisions as a part of their job. Whether you work in startups, you work in product management, you work in marketing, finance, operations, you have to make decisions with data every day. And getting insights from that data is really hard because most people don't know how to write code. They can't code up an analysis and get insights on their own. So we built Julius. Julius is an AI data analyst that connects to your data. You can ask questions to it, get insights from it within seconds. Since launching in 2023, our users have made over 10 million data charts with Julius.
Holy shit.
Every day, Julius executes over 4 million lines of analysis code, and we're growing. So
Yeah,
Do you want to show a demo, a live demo? Are you?
let me see if I have it pulled up. It's my first time using this software.
Yeah, that's okay. I understand if you have to I know sometimes Google Chrome asks you for permissions and then you have to rejoin. But I think Julius is so cool that in this case it's worth it if you rejoin. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
You got to give the people what they came for.
Oh, it
Cool.
says share to screen. Oh, it's working. Okay, great.
Cool. Let me. So that's Julius, and the easiest way to work with Julius is to just connect your data and start asking questions. So we're soon rolling out a Snowflake, Postgres connector, BigQuery connector, but for the sake of the demo, I'm just going to show a data set that's like a test data set. It looks like transactions from a platform like Stripe. So you have transaction data. It's going to say load this data and show me a few rows. And the AI will take my instructions, and just like a human analyst, it will write code to do the analysis. So um, it's looking at the data, thinking about it for a little bit, and then turning our instruction into code and executing that code.
Mhm. How long have you been working on this for?
Almost 2 years.
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe I read online that a lot of like researchers and scientists are the customers or like users of Julius. Is that still true? Has that changed?
Yeah, we have a pretty, one thing we've realized since launching is how ubiquitous the need is for analysis and how ubiquitous data is. People just have so much data. So scientists, they want to analyze their experiment data. There's businesses that want to analyze their marketing and operations data and finance data. There's product teams that want to understand the trends and how they're using product, and so on. So all that. So we have a pretty broad customer base. So here, I loaded my data. As we can see, there's like 35,000 rows of data, a lot of data in there. What I can do is I can just like either ask one of the questions that Julia suggests over time, and then see what I get. And we just launched collaboration, so I can actually invite my colleagues into Julius and collaborate with them on analysis in real time. And then soon we're launching connectors, so you'll be able to connect to your Snowflake and Postgres databases and so
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, super sick. So I actually have a almost like a business question for you. So in some of my discussions with friends, it's like, all these like little AI apps, agentic apps, like it's hard, like they're really fun when you use them. But it's kind of hard to make like a very user facing, like B2B SaaS kind of product. And there's kind of a question in my head of like, is some of the first successful use case for this going to be like internal tooling? And I think I read somewhere online that like you actually are working with a lot of like big companies who just want to invite like everyone from their team and company and like be able to share data and that analysis. So like I don't know, I'm wondering how have you thought about that? What are your observations? Am I totally wrong here?
Absolutely. Well, so a lot of our users are exactly that persona. Companies that have data and they want their employees to be able to query that data in an easy way. So here, Julius plotted daily revenue over time. As we can see, there's some trends. There's cumulative revenue over time, and then like monthly revenue, and so on. There's a split between the different pricing plans and so on. So it's like a test data set. But what it shows is that within a couple minutes, we were able to feed it the data and get these insights by just asking 2 prompts. And that's how easy it is to do analysis with Julius. And so businesses have a ton of data, and internally they want to make it really easy for their employees and their teams and their workforce to get the insights that they need. So for example, you're a marketer. You want to analyze how your different marketing campaigns are performing for different segments of users.
Sure.
You have the data that lives in Google ads or Facebook ads. You can pull that into Julius, join that with the data in your database on like how the different users are using your product, and then get insights instantly by asking a few questions. And because the medium of doing analysis is just English, it makes it really, really accessible. Anyone who can ask good questions can use Julius to get insights.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do people ask for like anything real time, or is this mostly for like static data that you've like fetched from somewhere, or is there like a case for like building like real time dashboards with this as well?
Great question. So yes, we get asked for that all the time. So we're building connectors. So the first step in that direction is we're going to launch live connectors for data. So you can have live data coming in from your Snowflake and your databases and so on, data warehouses. And after that, we're going to build dashboards. So instead of a static dash like this, chart, you're going to have like a real-time chart you can just come back and consume over and over.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you have any more questions from an engineering perspective? Otherwise, I have something else I wanted to ask.
You know what? Go. I
Okay.
can see you're ready for it.
Itching to do it. No. I think okay. So Rahul, I was reading your profile in Arena. I actually write for them sometimes as well. Really love that profile. And I think there's an excerpt in that article about how for you, like the entry to Silicon Valley and like networking and getting jobs and connections was through hackathons. And I believe you went to like UT Dallas. I think that, yeah, okay, yeah. And I feel like there's like this, like, is there, are we having a hackathon comeback and renaissance? Like, what's going on? What have you observed? Just share your thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope there is a hackathon renaissance. Just the energy of being in a room for 24 to 48 hours where people are just trying to make their idea a reality, it's really special. And that's what really got me into startups and building back in college. You have your lectures, you have your assignments, and that's really boring and really mundane. But how about you take an idea and take 48 hours to make that idea a reality? And you like run into bottlenecks and roadblocks, and you just sort of like find ways around it to just make it work.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you like hosted any hackathons before, or
I
just like participate? Sorry.
I always attend. Yeah, I really like attending hackathons. I'm
Is
always
Julius gonna have one
what
though?
we should do a datathon. Yeah, we should do a datathon where you can just analyze, get really, really cool insights, especially with like, with the tariffs or like macro trends and global things that are happening around the world. Like, can you just find interesting data and like get insights within minutes?
Hmm.
Yeah. Is
So
there,
as some
sorry, Daniel, I have a quick question. Like, is there an interesting question that you have had for a long time that you were able to answer with Julius? Like, I don't know, what's like a bit like an aha moment that you personally have had?
Yeah, well, we use it all the time internally, for our growth stuff. We do a lot of SEO. So like if you look up AI data analysis, Julius is number one on Google. In fact, if you look up Julius, we rank above Julius Caesar. And so for all that, like we use Julius to do a lot of our growth analytics, understand deeply how the data, what does the marketing data look like, what does the growth, SEO trends look like, and so that's we use Julius pretty often. And so we wanted to build something that we want to use and we find useful.
Yeah. I guess you mentioned like like economic data, tariffs, etc. I was wondering if there's like a fun question like that that you like just spent like a few minutes going down the rabbit hole with Julius exploring.
Yeah, I do all the time. There's like a really cool visualization that one of our users shared, where he created a time series animation of like Roger Federer, Djokovic, and what's the third one? Nadal.
These are
Their championships over time and like how they were competing, like the three greats. I thought that was pretty cool. Another user recently shared a chart of like Secretary of Defense tenures, like shortest SecDef tenures, I believe. That's pretty cool. So there's always like interesting things that people like are able to do with data, especially with like current trends, current affairs. So it's always fascinating.
Probably useful for making some viral tweets or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I should get back on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter.
Yeah. I think I tweeted about this live stream and I was like, Rahul, performance artist or something. And like, tap into that side as well.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
I wanted to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask something when we were talking about hackathons. As like somebody who attends a lot of them, do you have any like tips for people? Because I think like we've done our own hackathon. We're going to do another one at some point. I think a lot of like our community and audience are the types that really enjoy going to hackathons. Do you have any like suggestions on like how to get the most out of going to a hackathon, or like what do you like look for? Like how do you make it like enjoyable for yourself? And does it differ for like online versus in person?
I haven't done a lot of online hackathons, so I don't have much tips there. But I think the best part of hackathons is like the people you meet. is I think the point of hackathons is have fun, meet people that are working on fun things. Our CTO Matt, actually met him at a hackathon 2.5 years ago, and then I spent 3 months recruiting him after that.
What was the hackathon?
I think it was the Scale AI hackathon, January 2023.
And what made you guys click? Like, did you work together on a project or yeah?
No, we did not. But I was just at the hackathon and I saw his project and I was like, this is so cool. Like, and I just like hung out with him all afternoon, just like trying to learn more about his project. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, I'm having a lot of fun talking to this person. Like, I really want to work with this person. I think a lot of recruiting at startups is like, when you talk to somebody, do you walk away with more energy than you like went into the conversation with, and then you just like working on cool stuff just for the sake of fun. And I think that's important about startups is like you're building a project that's not like super serious, like, oh, here's a payment processor that helps you detect fraud or whatever. It's more like I remember the first hackathon I went to, this person, he made a bot that would play the Chrome like T-Rex game. It would like, detect the pixels on your screen and then like trigger a keyboard click every time like you see like an object come up. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like it has like no purpose. It's so cool. Like you can do that. So I think the point of hackathon is to have fun and meet cool people.
Yeah, I always
Nice. I like that.
I always think that companies should do internal hackathons as well. Like, take a few days, just let everyone in the company, whatever, we always have ideas when working, like, oh, I wish I had time to, tinker around and use Mostra to build this internal tooling or something else. But like,
But isn't the famous example that like Google Maps was created during a hackathon within Google?
Wow, I know that. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
I'm like 95% sure I just didn't make that up right now.
Nice.
Someone fact check this.
Yeah, where's our live fact checker?
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for joining, Rahul. Hopefully, I can imagine that we'll probably ask you to join some future live streams and whenever you want, you're welcome back. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. It's great meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Cool.
Take care.
Bye, Rahul. That was really fun. Honestly, I've been like dying to meet him for so long.
Yeah, this stream is just for you to meet all the people that you've had on your list of like people that you want to meet.
Exactly.
Next is like Michelle Obama, then
no, next is Tessa Barton.
People were expecting Michelle Obama. You're going to be disappointed.
No, it's all good. I think you're doing something super, super cool.
Yeah, I don't think Michelle Obama made purses, so
yeah. I'll fact check this stream. Maybe we're wrong, but anyway, yeah. Okay, so we have Tessa. Tessa I've met, I think it was at a conference, like at Manifest or something.
Yeah, Manifest.
Yeah, where I think you were actually selling these purses. So I also want to clarify that you are also an AI machine learning researcher and engineer. So I'd like to, learn a bit about that. But here, tell us about these purses that we've been dying to know about.
Okay, so starting like 2 years ago, I got this really strong compulsion to make a purse with a GPU on it because I had this problem.
And I'm going to pull this up because these are pretty amazing.
Yeah, oh my gosh, those photos. So I just was thinking about GPUs all the time. And also I'm like a total shopaholic. I love purses. And it just came to me. And so I started making them. I bought a bunch of like ingredients on Amazon. And after like carrying them around for like a summer and selling them at Manifest, they just blew up at New York Fashion Week last year. And I was really not expecting it. And in fact, I didn't even have really inventory. I had like huge delays on shipping for the first.
Tell us about the New York Fashion Week story. I think I missed that. I think I saw you at Manifest and then I saw some news articles and was like, whoa.
I was trying to sell them at Manifest. I was begging people to take them. Just like, it was totally hard.
I remember you were like, for a nice lady like you, I'll cut you a deal like $300.
Yeah.
Now
I was literally losing money on the purses for literally months, just because the GPUs are expensive. So like, I was just like giving them away, selling them, giving them away as presents, and I actually gave one to my former coworker, Christina, and she posted it and took it around New York Fashion Week. And it just totally blew up on Twitter, got like millions of likes. She took like a kind of sexy photo with it and inadvertently like launched a really awesome trajectory. And so like I was scrambling to like put together a Shopify storefront in those hours after the tweet went viral.
I think
And
the way you were selling it and Manifest that I can recall is like approaching men and being like, you want your girlfriend to be walking around San Francisco with this NVIDIA purse, and like that's, you know, like
Yeah, you don't want her to be the only one without one.
exactly.
oh my gosh. Yeah. So I really wanted it to be like because like, right, if you show up to a San Francisco party with a Chanel bag, very few people are going to appreciate it. And the ones that do, it's just not the right audience.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you show up with a nice GPU that has like flashing lights, it just gets so many more.
How did you source the GPUs?
So the GPUs, so I have this friend who has like a bunch of lasers in his backyard, and that's where I got the initial chips because he just had a bunch that he was like disassembling. And then the other ones after that, I just get them off eBay or wherever I can get one. So
Yeah.
there are some people have like GPUs that they are really into, like they have nostalgic value. And so I've been trying to like source those. I got a pink one from Japan that's selling well.
So is every purse kind of unique? Like each of these GPUs are
Right?
different?
Yeah, they're pretty unique. Like some of them I have to cut down to size. It's not like, for better or for worse, it's not like a very standardized process. But
Yeah,
it's
so
really
they're like one
awesome
of a
to get
kind,
like,
essentially. Like two people with the same purse, it's going to look different.
yeah. Well, in fact, it's actually good that they all look different because I had a batch of GPU purses stolen from my car. So if you see anyone with the black NVIDIA GPU purse, that's a stolen merchandise right there.
Damn. Tessa, tell us a little bit about your career as well.
So I have been in AI for a while. I started out at Snapchat working on face filters actually in 2017. And one of the face filters, I actually made the first GAN-based filter that went to 1 million views, and it was used to catch a pedophile. So like that was like a kind of weird career point.
So what can't you do?
No, I mean, like I then went, yeah, I mean, purses, catching pedophiles.
Wow.
Like then I've been at
as well, like New York Times sports analysis.
yeah, okay, totally random. I started doing like sports analysis of photos using computer vision. We discovered a bunch of really interesting stuff that I think most people don't know about like sports, because most sports aren't. Yeah, if you apply AI to sports, it's kind of crazy. Like we discovered that swimmers, even at the top level, they slow down throughout the race. If you look at the frame by frame, they are getting slower each lap, and each lap as they progress is slower. So like I think.
Is that the same with runners? Is that the same?
No,
Like,
it's not the same with runners. Runners speed up at the end. Almost every other sport, if you look at like fine grain analysis of the speed using video and vision models, like
yeah.
they speed up. But
And
swimmers,
swimmers
they
just
can't,
like
even the
slow
top
down the entire
swimmer.
time?
Yeah, swimming is about not losing time. It's not about speeding up. So I thought that was very interesting. So
Oh.
that I'm
What
really
is the
excited about
difference
stuff like
between
that.
not losing time versus speeding up?
That's what I kind of think after doing this analysis.
Interesting.
And we actually shared this with like the Olympic athletes coaches, and like they didn't know, because like there's a lot of stuff that you just can't analyze unless you have really fine grain analysis. But that's a whole other like
Yeah. No, I want to hear more about that. Do you have any other
any fun
yeah.
Oh
I like
my
those.
gosh, like at the Tokyo Olympics, we were so screwed because our vision-based system got so confused because it rained. And so you could see like the reflection of the runners off the track. That was an interesting thing that happened. Other than that, I have been working in B2B SaaS at Databricks as a research scientist, and that's much more standard. And it's so much fun.
Yeah. Do you have any hot takes
on AI? Oh, I
anything about agents?
anything about agents.
You think
Yeah, just go through your list. Give us every hot take you have, and we'll be here for a
I
while.
don't know if I prepared any hot takes.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
Any cold takes, lukewarm, we'll take them all.
You'll take them all. Okay. Agents. Like, I really just want an agent. This is so bad, but never mind. I shouldn't share this idea. I can't.
No,
Someone needs to
this
build
is
an
a safe
agent
space
that like
where-
goes
where-
through and finds all the haircut appointments in an area and like books you one. Because right now that doesn't exist.
Mm.
So it's like very hard to get a haircut.
No, it's just like you have to go click through to the end of the booking process to find out if there's availability. And that takes a ton of time.
For,
Wait, so
what is that haircut site that people use? Vagaro or something? Do you know what I'm
There's
talking
no
about?
centralized, as far as I know, site for searching for
I
a
think,
haircut.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
for me, and I
do people
imagine
not
most
have
people,
like a trusted hairdresser where they're like, I only go to my person. I'm not gonna like shop around and go wherever. It's like I have like Jasmine. She's the only one that cuts my hair. She's the only one I trust.
Yeah, definitely.
but
But
sometimes you really just need a haircut. Like
I
sometimes.
think we need MCP for. I've used Vagaro before to find like it's almost like I don't know if you know MindBody. It's like the yoga studio booking app. It connects to like a bunch of different yoga studios, and you can just like find something like today at X PM. What are the classes near me? I think Vagaro is a similar thing, but I guess we need MCP, and then we need to give it to an agent and have it book our haircut appointments.
Yeah, seriously. Maybe I should just work on that today instead of
You should. I mean, maybe use Mastro. That would be super sick.
It's honestly insane how fast stuff is coming out though. Like, but it's also kind of insane what hasn't been built yet. So I think that's an interesting place to be.
Yeah, we barely started. I mean, I didn't know that GPU purses like once it was a thing, I was like, oh, so obviously like this makes so much sense. But you were the first person to get there and do it.
Well, I mean, I invented the concept. I don't know, like other people, I don't know. There are copycats. It's a little bit like awkward, but whatever, it's fine.
We can call them out here. We can shame some people.
It's fine. It's fine. Thank
Yeah,
you so much for inviting me on the stream.
yeah.
This is really fun.
No, thanks so much for coming on, Tessa. I'll never look at Olympic swimming again the same now. Like
Yeah, I'm gonna be watching extra close now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think the next Olympics will be really interesting because NBC is finally like catching up with like computer vision, and they're like doing mocap. So it will be an interesting next Olympics.
Oh, and
you will not be disappointed.
This is where people can find you on X. I think I got that. Anyway, thanks so much for joining, Tessa.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Any reactions, Daniel? How do you feel about today's lineup of guests? It goes so fast.
Yeah, I honestly, because we were talking about like, because sometimes it's like 2 hours, and we're like, okay, this is our first time, we're gonna do like an hour and a bit maybe, but honestly, it flew by, and I'm like, you know what? I understand how Shane can do 2 hours.
2 hours, I agree. I think.
But if it's like by himself, like, oh my God, I would not do 2 hours by myself.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know, the sports analysis thing is actually really interesting. It's not intuitive to me that it would be so hard to have those insights, but apparently, like, I guess it's image capture, image analysis that's difficult. Maybe Tessa will build the Julius of image analysis or something. I could see that happening.
Yeah, she needs a blog that I can look up all of her sports facts.
Oh, true. For sure.
Yeah, because I'm going to repeat this at like a party or something like that to impress some people. So I need like a good repertoire of like random sports facts.
Exactly. That's how to make sports interesting, is with AI, I suppose. How to make it interesting. Yeah. Okay, closing remarks. I don't have a lot to think about. I think we mentioned at the beginning of the stream that we released the new master course. Daniel, you have your little. Oh, I think I found it. I found the little caption. It is, I think, the first course that you can take right in your code editor. Super, super cool.
So it's powered by our MCP doc server.
Yep.
So if you go there, it'll tell you how to get set up in Cursor, Windsurf, whatever your agent of choice is.
Yes. And I think we were going to do a giveaway, giving away copies of the newest edition of Principles of Building AI Agents. I'm actually going to. I should probably.
And I know you're probably thinking, didn't the first edition just come out in a few months ago? And the answer is yes, but in the AI world, a few months is years.
Exactly.
So there was enough to update it. And I think, what did he say? It was like 50%
Like yeah,
more information or something like that.
something like that. Yeah. But yeah. So we're giving away print copies of those. Just respond to Shane's tweet storm. Here it is. I believe the last tweet is asking for ideas and feedback. Like what lessons should we add next? So we're going to be going through any replies and picking out a few people to reach out to and mail them a copy of the book. Of course, you can always find an online digital copy at master.ai/book as well. Any other parting thoughts, Daniel? Should we just wrap it up?
But yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining, and hopefully we'll see you at some other point in time. Who knows when?